Hey everybody, it's Douglas from Other Than Intended Purpose. Over the last couple of weeks I've got several people whispering me about different posts I've put in Bug Out Network, the Prepared Mind 101 Facebook page, and a couple of other pages about the doughnuts for storing paracord. This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying doughnuts. And I've had one of the big questions is, how do I make them? So real quick, I'm going to show you how I put them together. Now I've got quite a bit of cord here, so I'm not going to do the entire cord right now with you watching because you'd get very old and tired and Social Security would be coming around by the time the video was done. I'm just going to show you how I get it started, and then even with this one I can show you how I end it.
Toss it over here so I can show it up closer.
Cousin Thing is now presenting it to you. Da-da-da-dun. Anyway, oh, there goes my copyright violation of the week. So what you're going to need to make one of these is some paracord. The way I make them, you want some tape. It makes life a lot easier. And something round. Now you can use just about anything round. Keep in mind that the more cord you put into it, the smaller the center is going to be. So the smaller you start, the less cord you can put in. I've found that these... Actually, this one's dented up. Dang it. I have found... that's fine. I have found that these jerky stick canisters give me about the right size. That's what that one that is now on the floor and I can't reach it. That's what I used to make that one. That one is about 150 feet of cord. This started out as 300 feet. I got this when I was in the Army. I started with about 20 of these when I got out of the Army, and I'm down to this one and one more. But this is started out life as 300 feet. It's probably now about 275 feet. And starting with this as my center, I can get the entire 275 feet in that. It'll just make my center a little bit bigger, or a little smaller, and it gets a little thick. But I actually kind of like that for bug out bags and stuff because it's a really good way to carry a lot of cordage.
Did you expect to get through that much paracord at this point?
No. Well, it has been over 20 years since I've been out, so. What you want to do to start this is untie this knot that I put in there for some reason. Make sure you've got a good burnt end on there so you don't fray on the inside. And you're going to give yourself a good 10 or 15 wraps to give you the base to weave the rest of it around. And this doesn't have to be super neat or pretty, it's just going to be the inside. Okay, there's 15 wraps. I'm not cutting this. I'm setting it to the side. Now I'm going to take some tape and I'm going to slide this off the end. I'm just going to slide one portion off first, and I'm going to throw the tape around my thumb and make it look silly. No, I'm going to throw the tape on here just to hold the shape of it. And the tape can just stay in there once you're done doing it, because once you get to that point, oh well, you have a little bit of tape there. Nobody cares. I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side, and then I'll be done with the tape. And I'll be almost done with the jerky canister because I'm going to get a stick of jerky when I'm done doing this.
Have one too?
Sure. Okay. Now, yeah, it kind of got messed up. It happens from time to time. It's not worth it to me to unwrap this at this point. I don't care. It doesn't have to be pretty on the inside. It doesn't matter.
It just gotta work.
All you're going to do now, and can you zoom up a little bit on my hands? You got my hands good?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to take this and you're going to make a loop and bring it over to this side. And then you're going to pull your string through that loop and kind of snug it up. Okay? Then you're going to take it across the back side and make sure that you are outside of those two strings you made the other loop with. And you're going to pull it through. And you're going to snug it up. And you're just going to continue to do that back and forth. And you want to pull on your loop, on your tail to snug it up so that you keep your knots somewhat in the middle. And if your loop gets too big, just pull it back through a little. Okay, continue to pull on the tail, pull it back through. And that is the entire process. Now I'm going to pause this long enough to get once around, because some people get confused on the second loop or the second track around, because you're having to go over the top of it. Now if you make paracord bracelets, it's basically doing the cobra weave and a king cobra where you go over twice. And then once you get all the way around that, you're doing the same thing. It's just a little bit bigger diameter. You just keep going around and around and around. But I'm going to pause this until I get all the way around once, and I'll bring you right back. Okay, I brought you back at this point for a reason. You can see how it's kind of getting spread out there. Every once in a while you're doing this, you want to grab onto your base row and cinch that up tight. And in doing that, you're going to get a much better, tighter, finished product. Okay, as you can hopefully see, I am right to the point where my next time I make a loop, I'm going to start going over the last ones I did. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue going through the loops. Now at this point, you want to make sure that you bring it over close to the loop you were doing, because you're no longer going to be able to slide them up. See, that actually went over, so I'm going to have to bring it as close as I can when I'm bringing the loop up and tighten it down, because I'm no longer going to be able to slide those back. One of these days, something's going to cooperate and it's going to freak me out, and I'm just not going to be able to handle it. If you start getting tangles or twists in your cord, this is fairly secure. You can just grab your length of your base length of cord and straighten it out. And when you pick it up, it'll spin. And when it slows down on spinning, you're pretty much untangled. I say pretty much because this is paracord, you're never untangled. So I'm going to keep going as close as I can to my last wrap and tightening it up. At this point, it's more important to shorten your loop each time, so you can try to keep your knots mostly centered. You see how I kind of have a ridge line on my knots? And the more times I go around, the more defined that becomes. Now, I have about as much interest in doing this entire spool this very minute as you do of sitting there and watching it. So now you've seen how I do that. And that just continues. When I get back to this point, I'll do the exact same thing. Just keep rolling around, rolling around, rolling around. When you get to the end of your cordage, actually getting to the end of the cordage, I'm going to be able to show you right now how you deploy this. You just, as you're pulling it out, you get your cordage. When you get to where you're done, you can bring this up, wrap it around, and make sure it'll go through the loop, and cut it with about 1 inch to spare. And the reason for that is, back to the end of making my cordage, or my donut, when you come up to where you're working on your last few inches, okay, this one right here is going to be my last one. Cinch that up nice and tight. Bring the loop, or bring your tail end around. Just pull it through the loop, and then tighten it. And that will lock it in place, and you've got your donut ready to go. And you can see the difference in size. One time around, I think this has 4 times around. So that is how I make the donuts, and this is one of my favorite ways to carry cordage.
There's a zoom in of
huh?
there's a zoom in of both of them sitting next to each other.
Can you unclip one of those wrappets right there and hand it to me? Leave the. Is it? Yeah, here. Now zoom back a little bit.
Zoom out.
Yeah. Now when I'm carrying these around, I generally run a carabiner through this whole. This is called a wrappet. There's several different brands going from really expensive to really cheap. I actually got these were in a discount bin. There's a 5-pack of them for $6. But these are designed for carrying spools of rope, spools of wire, power cords, whatever. You just fold that through there, attach the Velcro, put a carabiner through that, and you can hang that on the outside of your pack. There are quite, can you get one of the skinny ones too? Sorry about that, we had misplaced one. This is a smaller one that I got from Ace Hardware. This actually came with some nylon rope that I was getting for another project, but you can do the same thing with these. You just wrap it in through here and attach it with the Velcro. Then you've got this. You can use a carabiner to hook that to the outside of a pack, outside of a bag, whatever. Am I on screen?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't see me very good.
Right there.
This is not our normal shooting location. You're actually inside my cave, and it throws me to be inside my cave and it be this bright, because normally that light's not on. This 15-watt light is the only one that I have on when I'm in here doing stuff. So bright lights burn me.
Right there.
But so yes, that is my video on how to make donuts. I have 10 or 15 of these floating around the houses in several colors. I got some orange ones that are really good for marking stuff, you know, whatever color you're going to use. But this is a way I can carry. This is almost 300 feet of paracord. This is 75 feet, and it's going to be about 275 feet by tomorrow. So, and these cord holders, even if you just go down to Ace and get the cheap little tiny ones, this will hold a donut onto your pack perfectly. While I have your attention, I want to do a real quick shout out to CNC Unlimited Creations. And the shirt that I'm wearing is a pocket t-shirt, which most places that do stuff like this do not have pocket t-shirts. They do have them. But this is the Prepared Mind 101 shirt. It's got the logo on the back real big. And I just wanted to give a shout out to them. This is a really comfortable t-shirt, and it's good quality. So if you're planning on getting something custom made, you might want to give them a shout out. They're on the Prepared Mind. They're in the Prepared Mind group, but they're also on Facebook at CC Unlimited Creations is their Facebook. So when somebody does a good job on something, I like to give them a shout. I really like this shirt. I like my pockets for my t-shirts because they hold my phone. You guys have a wonderful day or night or whatever your plan is. Go out to the woods. I would love to, but it's raining really, really hard right now. Bye.